Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Well, let me turn to my guests who are here with me this morning to talk a little bit about Riverfest for 2019, and we're very pleased to have with us in the studio. Gloria Lehmer is here, part of the Riverfest committee. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Bob Lehmer is here as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott.
Welcome back to KSJE, and Rick Page is also here from the Riverfest committee. Rick, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Scott.
Good to have all of you here this morning, everybody, to talk a little bit about Riverfest and some of the things that are going to be happening. And I guess the first thing we should start talking about maybe, and Gloria and Bob Lehmer and Rick too, you've all been involved for a number of years, is maybe the history of Riverfest and why we take Memorial Day weekend to kind of celebrate Farmington's rivers, which is kind of what it's all about. And Gloria?
That's right. From the beginning in the 1980s, it's been all about promoting, protecting, and enhancing our riverine corridor through the city of Farmington, and it's gone beyond, and that's 33 years ago was the first Riverfest.
Is it really that long ago? 33 years? Yes. Amazing. Wow. And I think a lot of folks maybe who have come to the community after 33 years or within the last 33 years don't recall what the river looked like before 33 years ago. It was quite a different place than we see it today, correct?
That's right. And I think Bob can talk a little bit about what was seen along the rivers. We go around and give a PowerPoint presentation to different groups around town to educate.
Right.
And it was quite a mess down in the industrial parts of the city, and a lot
mess, for lack of a better term, right? I mean, it really was. And Bob, can you describe a little bit of what the river was like 30 plus years ago? I mean, quite different from today.
Very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The river was kind of our backyard, and we used it to throw our trash, old furniture, car bodies, concrete,
rusting cars, and right.
Everything was thrown in the river, and it was full of vagrants, and it was a dangerous place to go down to the river. People try to avoid it.
Right.
So we turned it around, basically, over the last 35 years.
Definitely. And it's been an amazing transformation, too. I mean, I think when you remember what it looked like before, and now it's been so opened up with the trail system and the parks that are there and all the other investment from both the River Reach Foundation working in cooperation with the city, right?
You bet.
And that's been a great process. Gloria, what else has changed?
Well, there were a lot of visionaries back in the 80s, I think. We can go back with the partnership with the city, and Bob could name one of the slides on our presentation is a river raft trip with Dr. Cumberworth and Bill Frymouth, architect, and of course Bob Hudson, city manager.
In those days, that's right.
First Parks and then city manager. We're all involved, and others, of course, and mayors and such.
And the voters, too, because I don't know if a lot of folks remember that it was the public that voted to approve a small tax increase to fund a lot of the trail system that we now see and enjoy in the river corridor there.
That's right.
And some of those other facilities like the Nature Center and other things that we now see. The animal shelter is not too far off the river either, so it's all right in that area.
Right. There were some other things as well, the aquatic center and soccer fields and baseball fields. And,
a certain golf course.
A golf course.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but that GRT really helped a lot. And there were two of them, weren't there, Bob?
That's right.
I think I remember that. That's true. And Rick Page, your memories of the river back in those days?
remember rafting down the river a lot of times, and as Bob mentioned, that there were a lot of car bodies in there. Back in those days, they used car body and concrete to stabilize the riverbanks down there,
Right.
which made them quite dangerous. They're trapping enhancements down there that need to be made all the time, and so it was a mess down there, and it's gotten a lot better over the years.
Right.
And there are a lot of cleanup has happened, and more techniques for stabilizing banks have been improved. So
Sure. And certainly Farmington was not unique in this. A lot of communities kind of treated their rivers and waterways the very same way. I mean, it really was kind of a renaissance in the 70s and 80s, I think, that folks started looking at these waterways going through their communities and saying we should maybe use these as an advantage, not as a trash dump or a place just to throw stuff over the banks or what have you.
Right,
So
and people were protecting, the erosion along the banks. But Rick has a lot of knowledge about the things that have been done actually in the river to protect people
Right.
from
Which is-
drownings and so forth, like Pennyleen Dam.
some of those things, right, which is what the River Reach Foundation's been in part of doing as well, correct? Not just
Absolutely.
within the city limits of Farmington, but all along the river.
Right. And we collaborate with Aztec Trails and Open Spaces. And we understand that, and we're really becoming more one community. I believe even with Durango and Kirtland and Shiprock, they're all kind of cleaning up their trails along the San Juan River and along the Animas River, and trying to get more events together and to also attend each other's meetings and events, like at the Aztec Ruins and on their trails last year.
Right.
And then now a new raft race this year.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that. So let's talk about Riverfest because it is coming up here, Memorial Day weekend, which is just a little over about 10 days away or so.
Right,
If I look
May
at
24th.
Yes.
And,
So
we had the first one in 1987 with the Gypsy Dance Troupe.
right.
And we're going to have a kickoff on Friday evening, May 24th, starting at 5 p.m. with live music and a VIP event.
Right.
And lots of food vendors and arts and crafts at Berg Park or River Reach Terrace at the Little Pavilion.
Okay, and I'm looking, I know I put up the schedule here for Friday, so let me find it here. There it is. As we
great.
talk about Friday's events, right? And this is all free, right, for the community to
Yes.
come and enjoy.
A free event. We've tried to keep it free, and we have, and free parking as well. And we've added a little bit of parking this year.
A little more parking. Okay. And I know there's also some bus service, is there not, also with parking?
Absolutely.
To help get that going. And where does that go? From the museum?
From the museum.
Right.
You can park there and ride the bus. The Red Apple Flyer, it's all free. Nobody has to pay for parking that far away, and they'll drop you right off at the park.
And
So no walking.
That's great. And they'll take you back to your car when you're done.
Exactly.
Well, that's Farmington Museum, and it's going to run every 30 minutes. Andrew Montoya with the Red Apple Transit has been very helpful with that. So it will leave from Farmington Museum and go to both ends of the park, Animas Park on Browning Parkway and Berg Park.
Okay. Very good. And so that is all weekend long, basically, right?
Yes.
As long as Riverfest is going,
Yes,
the buses will be running.
And it's free to everyone.
Very good. And so you mentioned this opening kind of kickoff, right, on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock?
Yes, it's a very nice event, and you can buy tickets to it, but our generous donors and sponsors receive VIP tickets. And it's sponsored this year by Basin Coordinated Health and Vince Moffat and those people with that organization. And we also have Clancy's and Premier Distributing doing beer tasting, and we have a beer and wine cash bar. We have catered food donated by generous restaurants around town and caterers around town, and we have the Fine Arts tent with Flo Trujillo and the Northwest New Mexico Arts Council in this huge tent, and we will have a garden area outside for seating as well to listen to the music.
Nice.
So art for sale, and then, of course, the arts and crafts and other vendors, nonprofit and local businesses and arts and crafts showing their wares on the terrace.
Okay. Very good. And let's talk about some of the events that are going on all weekend, because some of these things continue, correct? The Arts and Crafts Show, I know, is an all-weekend type of an event. And We have the graphic up that talks a little bit about some of the ongoing events on Saturday and Sunday, including the rafting, of course, which is a big part of Riverfest. And Rick, I think that's your area, is it not?
That is my area.
Yes.
Scott. We're excited this year.
There's water this year. I'm excited this year. The whole community is excited for the water in the river.
This is it's going to be a great year for Riverfest.
Yeah.
We're going to have plenty of water down there. Right now it's running over 2,100 cubic feet per second through town, and
should be a good ride.
That going up a little bit between now and then.
Okay.
And we're excited. We've got a new outfitter that's going to be hosting the raft rides this year, Durango River Trippers.
Okay.
They'll be down, and they're planning on running about 5 to 6 boats about every hour now, with about 9-10 passengers per boat down through there. And
folks should get their tickets ahead of time, probably?
You can buy your tickets ahead of time. You can call Durango River Trippers. Their phone number's 970-259-0289.
Right.
You can contact them and purchase tickets ahead of time, or you'll be able to purchase tickets at Rocky Reach Landing, as we've done in years past. There'll be a booth there, and we'll have some banners up that indicate.
But I would imagine that at some of the more popular times during the weekend, the tickets may sell out because there's only a limited number of rafts that they have in seats.
That is true. The raft rides, like I said, are about once an hour, so it's less people going down. So you need to get your tickets ahead of time.
Right,
is going to be your best bet, or get them early because they do tend to sell out.
Right. So here we are talking about 10 days ahead of time, and so I would say now is not too early to be calling.
No, definitely not. This would be a good time.
If you've got people coming into town, or you want to make sure that everyone gets a seat in the raft, to make those reservations. But it's a great, fun part of Riverfest every year.
It is. We've done some enhancements to the river. The city has, in conjunction with the River Reach Foundation. Last winter, we put in about 7 cross vein structures that are rock structures that stretch river wide from the rapid down to Rocky Reach, or to River Reach Terrace.
Okay.
And create some smaller waves and stuff, which make it a little more exciting down there. So we're constantly making improvements on the river and trying to.
Well, I know it's all part of the city's outdoor recreation initiative, and I know a lot of folks have kind of rediscovered the river and all that you can do along the river and in the river, and by making some of those rapids a little more challenging, but also making a less challenging part of the river, if you want to avoid that, is all part of this, correct?
That is true. That's true. We do want to emphasize safety down there. Swiftwater rescue technicians will be at the rapids as normal down there, but we also want to make sure the public is aware, because the higher flows down there at the river is dangerous. You want to keep close tabs on your children and watch and be safe down there.
Sure, even when you're on the shore and things. But if you're in the rafts, I know everyone gets a flotation device and all the training and a little bit of safety briefing before they hit the water, which is important.
Correct. Training is a big. If you're going to get on the river and do it all the time, then you definitely want to get trained.
Very true.
To do that one.
Exciting. Well, that's going on, and that's going on all weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday.
I believe it starts at 10.
Yes,
down there.
I believe they sell rafting tickets on Friday evening, but I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if they're selling them on our website at riverreachfoundation.com, but there's merchandise for sale.
Merchandise there, and of course the phone number for the rafting folks at Durango River Trippers, again, is 970-259-0289, and it looks like it says 10 to 6 rafting on Saturday and Sunday. Does that sound about right?
That's about right. It's a little less, I think, on
maybe on Sundays?
Sunday, but
till 5.
Okay.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes,
okay.
They'll take on people as long as they're buying tickets.
Okay, good to know. Very good.
The raft race launches at noon.
Yep, we have the first Riverfest rally, we're calling it. It was sponsored by Animas Riverkeeper with San Juan Citizens Alliance out of Durango.
Right.
And we're putting on, we've got about, I believe, 5 or 6 teams put together of different companies around the area that will be running from Penny Lane Dam, which is in Flora Vista, down to Boyd Park or by Miller Bridge down there.
Right there. So coming through the entire corridor there, basically,
right?
Be
coming right through the corridor.
What day
we'll be doing updates.
What day is this again?
This is on Saturday.
On Saturday, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that. This will be the first raft race. We hope that it goes well, and we plan on doing that from here on out.
Trophy too.
Right.
I believe so. Yes.
Nice trophy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can contact if you're interested in trying to put a team together. I think he's got a few more boats left. They'll be providing boats for people if you don't have them, and if don't worry about your experience level, because they will have certified raft guides that will be on each raft going down, so to keep everybody safe.
Right.
But
good.
if you're interested in more information, you can contact Marcel at SanJuanCitizens.org for more information.
Okay. And that's at 2:00 on Saturday.
That starts at high noon at Penny Lane Dam.
At Penny Lane. Okay.
And depending on the river flow, it could take an hour and a half
To get to
or
the park.
to get down there.
Gotcha.
And get through there. But
Okay.
the finish will be around 2:00.
Okay. Very good. And as we go back and talk a little bit about some of the events all weekend, I know there's kids' activities, and that's another thing that I know has become real popular at Riverfest, to have a lot of organizations that come and do things with kids, correct?
Yes, on Saturday and Sunday all day, we will have River Kids, sponsored by Antec this year, again. And Joaquin Gage, a River Reach Foundation, provides all of the craft activities and all the fun, aquariums and nature displays and large Connect Four games and
Right.
Twister and things, and under the big blue tent at Rocky Reach.
We're seeing a picture of some aquarium. I don't know what's living in there. Maybe frogs. It could be, I don't know, snake. I don't know. But something
I know.
that has attracted children to the tent.
Oh, it's a busy place to be at Rocky Reach Landing.
Right.
Throughout the event. So that's great. And of course, the Wiener Dog race that you know a lot about.
On Saturday, another one of my favorite events. That's true. Yes,
Saturday
exactly.
at 11, but you can start registering, I believe, at 9.
Very true.
Saturday morning, the 25th. And lots of great prizes and trophies this year again, and Scott Michlin as MC.
I always enjoy emceeing the Wiener Dog races, and it's always fun to watch them because some of them know where they're going and what they're doing. Other ones just are socializing. It's kind of fun to
Right, and
see
you might
them.
know more about Ginger, is it?
Ginger, I think,
Because
yeah.
I don't get to watch it all the time. I'm
Right.
very busy. But
She is
I
a
believe
past
she's
champion.
returning just to encourage the other dogs.
Good, but she is a returning champion. But yeah, and as you can see, they take off, and I'll be showing a picture right now of all of them taking off across the grass. Some just a little taller than the grass some years, so it's fun. It's a fun event. So encourage folks to come out and cheer them on, or if you have a wiener dog in your household, you can register them and they can take part. They can participate. So it's
right.
another great event. What else is coming up as part of Riverfest this year? We've talked a little bit about some of the new events and the favorite events. And Bob, I know there's lots of music too, right? And that's something
There is a lot of music.
that you are working on, correct?
Right.
A lot of great local and regional entertainers coming to perform.
You bet.
Yeah.
We're having Friday evening. We're having the Fab Band. It's really Bill Woodard's family group. They're going to kick off from 5 to 7 on Friday evening, and that's going to be followed by a great group called Garrett Young Collective.
Right.
They're out of Durango. They played with Chevelle Shepherd,
Nice.
and
I think people have heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've heard of
Just
her.
a little bit.
She's a wonderful singer.
Exactly.
Talent
Terrific.
woman. But those are from 7 to 9 Friday evening, and should be well attended. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Right, and lots of different genres of music too. As I'm looking at the schedule a little bit, Garrett Young is mostly country, but the Family Affair Band has got lots of different things on their schedule. It looks like from pop to rock to blues and reggae and country as well. So
That's right.
terrific. And that's Friday, and then you've got more bands, of course, scattered throughout the park, don't you?
Right. We've got 3 venues. Rocky Reach Landing is, at the upstream, more or less. And we've got quite a few great bands, many local bands. We try to keep things pretty local.
Right.
Our furthest group is Albuquerque and then Santa Fe. And most of it's from Farmington, Durango area,
Okay.
Cortez.
We can consider Albuquerque local for Riverfest, I think.
More or less,
Sure.
yeah.
Suburban Farmington. Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. But looks like you've got some jazz on at Rocky Reach Landing on Saturday, right? With the Jazz Society.
Yes, Delbert Anderson's group, the San Juan Jazz Society, is going to play, as well as Delbert's involved with DDAT, which is kind of a new. It's hip hop and soul and funk and
little mix of everything.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, and they'll be on Rocky Reach Landing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
A group out of Albuquerque, Fenders too. That's a Native American country band, and they played last year. They were excellent.
Okay.
Everybody loved their group.
Nice.
And of course, we have Alfred Serviana. He comes every year, plays at the Berg East, and it's the Andean music. It's a flute music, and they play the live flute music, and then they play their records. They have many albums, and they're all for sale.
Okay.
So we wanted to promote that group.
Sure. And I know at River Reach Terrace, you've got some the White Mountain Crown Apache Dancers starting things off on Saturday, correct?
We've got something for everybody.
Yeah.
The White Mountain Apache Dancers from Arizona are coming. Myra Newman at the Navy Indian Center, she arranged for that group to come back, and they're very, very popular.
Right.
They're world renowned, actually. They play all over the U.S.
That's great. And Breeze and I See, and a local group I think folks would recognize. That group is going to be performing, as well as After Midnight, a little bit later on Saturday.
Exactly.
So, and Sheldon Pickering and Friends. People know that name.
You bet. And
Wild Country and Blackwell Brothers as well to round out the schedule on Saturday.
Right. Wild Country is an 8-member band, and they play with Chevelle.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get
As well.
Chevelle this weekend. We'll get her eventually, hopefully.
Okay.
But they'll play, and they're going to be one of our headliners groups.
Nice. Well, that's Saturday's schedule, and then of course there's much more entertainment on Sunday as well. Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something else at all 3 locations again. Correct.
Right.
So good.
A group out of Santa Fe, the Brant and Chris Leeper Band. They're going to be playing blues, funk, and rock, and I think we'll really enjoy that group. They're going to be playing on River Reach Terrace.
Okay, on Sunday.
That's right.
Yeah, and then Sean Arrington Band I see, and Black Velvet and Rick Hatfield at Rocky Reach Landing on Sunday, and then some others coming back in the. So lots of great, and there's something about listening to live music out by the river and in nature and with the trees and the birds and some of the things going on. It's just a great experience, and I know it's one of another favorite parts of Riverfest that make it such a great event. So
there's music, all kinds of genre for everybody. So if you like blues or you like country, whatever, you can kind of go from end to end and find something you're really going to enjoy.
That's right. Just stop and listen and walk towards the music, and you'll have a great show. So that's great. And Gloria, there's a lot of moving parts to Riverfest, is there not? I know there's a lot of things to keep track of for you and the committee and everyone that's
We're all very busy, and I'm very appreciative of the hard work, especially this past weekend, getting the schedule out this week. Rhonda and Cindy have really worked very hard on this schedule. It's not final yet, but it's very helpful today for me. But I know they worked all weekend on this.
Very good. And I know as we look at the schedule too, there's you got a disc golf tournament on Saturday happening as well.
Yes.
And a yoga class. Mm-hmm. So
I would be remiss if I didn't name a few more events that we have going on.
Yes, please.
The Riverfest Recycled Fashion Show on Sunday morning. The National Honor Society and their sponsor, Cody Dudgeon, at PV High School, sponsored by Waste Management. And I think it's going to be bigger and better this year, including more middle school and high school awards.
Okay.
And, of course, Farmington Clean and Beautiful. Debbie Homer is involved in that. And then the Riverfest Duck Race on Sunday at 3. Tickets are being sold online, and they're selling very well. Bob and Deanne Waters and Rio del Sol Kiwanis is also a partner in that. And they sold a lot of tickets at Sam's Club this weekend, but a lot are selling at our on our website. as well.
Great. So you can buy them ahead of time, or you can buy them at the event, correct?
That's right.
Until Sunday.
And you can buy them from Bob and I and most members of the
Okay.
foundation.
That's true.
Or Kiwanis.
Great.
Yes. And the car and truck shows. Alberta Wethington always does the Sunday Four Corners Old Car Club show. And then this year, we have Fouts Hannon doing a Saturday car and truck show on Cottonwood Landing. So those are very nice events.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Roverfest too as part of this as well, is there
Yes.
not? And we will talk a little bit about that, since I know for all the Wiener Dog fans out there, they love to come back for Roverfest to help get the furry friends out in the park as well.
Yes. Carol Huntington is chairing up Roverfest this year, and Canine Castle is involved. Come out and walk your dogs. And get some obedience training and benefit the shelter's volunteer program.
That's great.
$10 entry fee.
Very good. And I know the rules for bringing your dog to Riverfest are that they need to be on leash and they need to have their rabies tags with them, right? And up to date, obviously.
That's right.
And that's
right.
just an important part that everyone should remember to be able to make it a great event for everybody. So.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Well, it sounds like another great event as always, as usual, and because of a lot of the hard work of the three people that are in the studio with me this morning, everybody. Other sponsors and other folks we want to thank for making all this possible.
Well, we do have some sponsors to thank.
Right. I know it's a long list, but hopefully we can run through some of them.
Well, we won't run it all.
That's
but,
okay.
Of course, the River Reach Foundation, we want to stress that people think that the city of Farmington solely puts this on every year, and we are very grateful for all the parks' help and all of the support we get from the city of Farmington. The River Reach Foundation is all volunteer except for one part-time employee, our administrator, and boy, that has been wonderful, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without our generous donors every year, so we thank you for that. Other partners, the CVB, Waste Management, Hillcorp, Orthopedic Associates, Wells Fargo, P&M, Sunray Park and Casino, Malloy Honda, Basin Coordinated and Basin Home Health and Hospice, Navajo Transitional Energy Company, The Bridge at Farmington, Marion Oil and Gas, Knowles Incorporated, Laundrotopia, Pesco, Northern Edge Casino, Clancy's Pub, Budweiser, American Fence, Cascade Water, Rio del Sol Kiwanis, Red Apple Transit, the Farmington Chamber of Commerce, Visual Links Graphics, KOBF, KSJE, iHeartRadio, Cool and Star, and Farmington Flyer.
Nice.
So thank you very much.
Well, we're happy to be part of that impressive group of businesses, and it's funny to me because a lot of these names we hear over and over again of these companies that step up whenever there's a community event and something to be benefit the community. So it's great to see them on the list of sponsors again for this event. You mentioned the CVB, and I do want to point out that your event has been chosen, as it should be, a jolt-worthy event in Farmington. So it makes sense that
yes, we're happy about that.
That would be part of it. So that's great. We just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning. I want to go back and ask each of you your favorite parts of Riverfest. Rick, I imagine maybe yours might have to do with the river.
Mine do have to do with the river. I 23 years ago got on the river at Riverfest, and it's kind of been history after that. I got associated with the college and got to run the Grand Canyon a couple years ago with my own private permit, and so it's been fun. I just want to invite people to come down, run the river, and get introduced to it this weekend. Durango River Trippers, you can contact them directly. Pre-sales, it's $25 per adult and $20 per child.
Right.
Coming down there.
And it's you mentioned introducing yourself to the river. I think it's a great point because, again, if you've been thinking about taking a raft ride and maybe not ready to take on the Grand Canyon, this is a great way to do it. It's a short ride, but a great ride through the park and with a guide, and certainly a great way to introduce maybe you and your family to the excitement of being on the river in a raft.
That is so true, Scott.
So wonderful. Well, I can see why you love it so much. So perfect. Gloria Lehmer, let me turn to you. What's your favorite part of Riverfest? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to nice weather and just the
always nice
beautiful
weather.
river. I know. Well,
Right.
Yes. Just the community coming together and all the different events and the generous donations. It's unbelievable each year. We seem to have more participation from more people and more businesses and more groups. And the Animus Outdoors will be there, and they did the inner tubes and the bike rentals last year, and it wasn't a very good season for them. They may have too high water to do the inner tubes this year, but they're going to be at the park, and we hope that event can continue throughout the summer.
Okay.
And every summer.
Well, a great introduction to them as well. And, of course, again, this year that we have a totally different outlook for the river, a more positive outlook this summer will be great for hopefully businesses like theirs. So
yes, and I do want to add about parking. The Old Red Lion Inn we have contacted the owners, and they're allowing us to park there. So there will be more parking than the parking lot that gets full on San Juan Boulevard. And so you can go on down past Village Inn and Denny's and the Marriott and park in the paved parking lot and just walk up the trail to the terrace.
If you park on the backside of the hotel, you're right near the trail, which extends right there. So
That's right.
You're not too far from the action.
So Chris Troyer has done that, and by the way, he's chair of volunteers. And go to our website, riverreachfoundation.com, or call the number on there, and we can connect you with Chris, and you can volunteer and receive that nice volunteer T-shirt.
Nice.
And I'm sure he still needs volunteers in a lot of different areas.
Okay, that's a great point. I'm glad that you thought to mention that.
Yes.
So that's good. And Bob Lehmer, let me finish with you and your favorite part of Riverfest, because I know you and everyone here has been involved with it for a number of years. But do you have one part that stands out?
Well, it's really a sum of all. It's really a sum of
all the parts, isn't it?
Yeah, all the parts. It's a wonderful event that we bring people to the river, because that's why we're here. Our early settlers came here because of the rivers, and we neglected them for many years, and now we're showing the importance. We're the only community in the southwest part of the United States with 3 rivers, and that's so important that we protect and enhance them. We want to bring people down there to enjoy the rivers.
Right.
So many people from out of town and come. They don't even know we have rivers. They cross a bridge, but now we have a place in the commercial district, the motels, hotels, where they can walk along the trails and enjoy the wildlife. There's so much from the nature center to watching the deer in the little observation area and all the wild animals, and you can feed them the ducks along the way with the right food.
Right, of course. Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's signs that tell you what that is. So that's very helpful, that I think is put there by the River Reach Foundation, if I'm not mistaken, at least with the city and the Parks Department. So
Correct.
That's great. Well, you're right. Yeah. It is a great way to celebrate our rivers, and we wouldn't be here without them. And and we love them when they're flowing, and we hope they get flowing when they're not flowing. So that's what we think about them.
Right.
But we are in a unique position in Farmington that we have those 3 rivers, and we have more access to water than most communities in New Mexico. And for that, we're very blessed. So It's great to celebrate that. Thank you all for coming in this morning. It looks like another great Riverfest this year, so we'll look forward to it.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome, everybody. Thank you very much. My guests, part of the River Reach Foundation and the Riverfest Committee here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.